Hey everyone. Okay, so this chapter we get a look at Apart's past, and in truth, for the most part, it was the pretty typical story of a kid who would later grow to become a serial killer. Like, disinterested, absent mother, being ostracized by their kids, and a father who, I guess you could say, attempted to be sympathetic, but when you get down to it, really was only helping so he could have a normal son, leading to that breaking point where he lashed out and showed his true colors of what he thinks about him, and which in itself led to a part doing the thing that usually happens, where he maimed his doll and later killing an animal. Like, it's all this backstory is like a lot of the most textbook examples of a serial killer. But one little spin I do like that Suzuki added, which in itself is a common theme a lot of manga artists use, is he presented a part story through the lens of conformity. That in every instance he tried to open up to people or his father trying to help him, it was all for the purpose of having him be like everyone else, not for the purpose of trying to actually help him or to have friends. Like, this chapter is playing into a very common sentiment about Japanese culture, which is the idea of becoming like everyone else. Which in itself, I don't know how much of that is still the case, but it is like the idea of seeing that. But I do like how it always is presented from the child's perspective. How a lot of this pressure is what helps in order to shape how a child grows. And while I don't want to completely absolve a part of his many crimes that he's committed, it is fair to say as well that his father and just his upbringing as a whole is responsible for a lot of what made him who he is today. Now, once Apart's done telling his story, I do love how Taro immediately calls out the logical fallacy that although killing people was Apart's twisted way of connecting with them, Taro calls it like it is. He's severing those connections or potential connections he could have made by basically just killing them, when he could have just like talked to them, tried to open up to them. And he's not. And the thing is, Taro's not wrong, yet for Apart, that's the only way he's known. Like, that line between right and wrong is forever blurred for Apart. Like, no matter how many people tell him it's wrong, for him, killing is his perceived way of understanding people and connecting with them. Apart more than any of these other killers we've seen, is the one that needs the most help. He's just mentally unwell, and honestly, the fact that X manipulated someone like this just shows no matter what his motives or goals are, it just lays out plain as day just how twisted X himself really is. Like, the man uses anyone he sees as useful to him and throws them away in the same breath. So no matter how unethical it might seem, or the method is, it might seem, or just how unethical the method itself is. Like, X employing someone who's as mentally unwell as Apart is just flat out abuse in some respects. Is flat out like abuse of someone who just desperately needs help. And let's also talk about X for a minute, because when we cut back to the present, we learn through a conversation between Nagamo and Shishiba that after having completed their assignment to kill the listed JAA assassins, X would have forced the three to kill each other, which, like I just said, shows how ruthless and calculating X really is. And in a way, the fact that he even went that extra step to have them kill each other in the aftermath of all this shows that for however much something might be part of the greater plan that X is cooking up, it's also true he seems to enjoy manipulating people, which, like, he generally seems to enjoy the idea of manipulating people in order and having them do what he wants, but by pulling their strings. Like, X himself, I think, sees himself as a puppeteer and trying to manipulate people into doing exactly what he wants. Now, which in itself poses one of those intriguing what-if questions of what would a part minimalist dump install have done had they lived long enough in order to find this out? Like, would they have turned on X, or would they have turned on X, or what would have been their strategy in order to make this? What would have been their ultimate strategy in order when they found out this happened, or did some of them figure it out and just not care that they were being used? Like, it is one of those things I would have liked to see explored in this arc, but I imagine at best what we are going to get is another guest appearance from X to reveal that a part that he was being used, which for someone like him that already is mentally like teetering on the precipice, I imagine learning something like that would push him over the edge, like leading to X killing a part himself. Like, I'm betting that's what's likely to happen here. Like, it feels like it's set up in that way where it almost has to happen now. Like, the only way this ends for a part is him being killed by X. Like, that, I think that's more or less likely what's going to happen here. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Blue Sky, Endless Crunchyroll. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and just share the video around, guys. Dark Knight Anime, signing off. Later, everyone.